Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Growfolds, and today we will be visiting multiple grocery stores in the DFW market to see what kind of plants we can find, whether it's common plants or rare plants. The first stop we're going to be doing is at Sprouts. It is off of Custer, off of in McKinney, Texas. So we'll see what kind of plants we will find at this location. So as we walk into the entrance, we have some dormant or semi-dormant roses, and it says please place on sales floor immediately. So obviously, big box stores, grocery stores seem to get these plants out. I'm not sure about the price of these roses, but it looks like we will be seeing a lot more of those as we go to these different big box and grocery stores. So we'll walk in and we see a bunch of organic seeds. Sprouts is very heavily organic in terms of what products they sell in grocery, and you can see right here there are a bunch of hanging baskets by Living Trends. So originally these were $14.99, and they're on sale for $4.99. And I think for this one, this is an Epipremnum aureum Enjoy. I would say Enjoy. Some people might even argue that it is pearls and jade, but there's not enough like variegation, speckling variegation to warrant that. And then you can see right over here we have another Epipremnum aureum neon pothos. Beautiful lime green leaves. And then for this whole hanging basket plus terracotta pot plus plant, $4.99 is a steal. I mean, we're going to be literally saving $10. This is Petite Mishima hanging basket. So like obviously this one is another Epipremnum aureum Enjoy. I love the sectoral variegation of this. This would be really cute to hang in my kitchen if I were to get it. I think I'm actually going to get 2 of these. We'll see what other plants they have that are in hanging baskets. Today I was actually successful in hanging one of my Hoya Carnosa compacta Crimson Queen or Crimson Princess. So it's right underneath, right above my sink in the kitchen. So we'll see that when I actually do a houseplant tour. But we have another hanging basket with a green Maranta. That's really cool. There's a bunch of hanging baskets, and like this is really cool. So I've been looking for a Cebu Blue pothos or an Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu Blue. Look at how beautiful this is. And with a nice modern looking hanging basket planter. Totally could see this hanging in my home. Cebu Blue or Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu Blue is really nice. And for $4.99, I mean, Living Trends is a little bit pricey in terms of their hanging baskets and plants because of the planters. But I'm glad that I can go to Sprouts and find this. But the biggest steal or deal is the fact that there are Ficus lyrata in 6-inch pots for 99 cents. 99 cents, guys. Like, can you believe that you can get a baby Ficus lyrata starter plant for 99 cents. This is a standard 6-inch potted up plant for 99 cents. I mean, I can't get over that. I'm definitely going to just pick that up. Not that I was actually looking for a Ficus lyrata, just because I feel like once it gets bigger, if I'm able to grow it, it's going to require a lot of space and light. But even though there aren't as many plants at Sprouts, what I find interesting is we can find beautiful cordatum like this is Philodendron hederaceum, and this is not the non-variegated one. They have a Philodendron Brazil, Philodendron lemon lime, but this one is just a normal green one. I'm actually debating on whether I should get this one as well, just because I like just green plants. That's a really nice shape as well, the heart-shaped leaf. But as you can see, there are some really nice looking hanging baskets for $4.99. You'll literally be saving $10 here. So if you're in the DFW area, run by the Sprouts off of North Custer and McKinney, which basically comes parallel to Virginia Street, and you will see these plants. Like this one right here is a red Marantha for $4.99, this hanging basket of red Marantha. I'm a little bit weary about getting Marantha just because their care is just like similar to a Calathea, so they're a little bit fussy, but I do like this Epipremnum aureum Enjoy, and then we have another green Maranta right over here. Nice looking plant. I just don't know if I would ever add something like this. Prayer plants, Stramanthe and Calathea are a little bit more finicky. I really do prefer easy care plants like Aglaonema, Syngonium, and Epipremnum aureum or pothos. But I just keep coming back to this. Like, can you believe that I stumbled upon a Ficus lyrata in a 6-inch planter for 99 cents. Like if this dies, you're not really losing anything. Like the fact that there are Ficus lyrata at this Sprouts location for 99 cents, that's pretty awesome. And then we have some hanging baskets right here of Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. I did see a marble queen right over here. I'll go ahead and pull this Epipremnum aureum golden pothos by Urban Jungle for $16.99 for this hanging basket. That's very lush. That is not a bad deal at all. And I think it's even a better deal than maybe Exotic Angels, Costa Farms hanging baskets. I mean, either way, I feel like grocery store plants are either way more expensive or very cost effective. In this case, it's very cost effective. Like, look at this. This is a green Marantha for $16.99, this hanging basket. Like, I would totally put that, but I always feel like Marantha, Stramanthe, Calathea, they're just a little bit more finicky, and I just can't deal with finicky plants. Like, if you're in the live chat or just even in the comments, let me know if you also feel the same way. Like, why would you add plants that require so much more energy and care? I mean, you know, to each his own, but I like easy care plants. This one is some type of fern right over here for $16.99, so that's nice. Sprouts is actually a pretty good place to get plants. You'd be surprised about what you can find. This one right here is $14.99 for a Ficus elastica taniki. Not bad at all, but I feel like I could get a better deal at Trader Joe's. I think Trader Joe's would be like around $12.99, and we see some more Monstera deliciosa. We have another Monstera deliciosa right here. This one is just a regular Ficus elastica. It's just a green form, and that one's $14.99. It is in a 6-inch potted up plant. I like that, but I prefer the burgundy, the taniki, and the ruby, and then the shivriana in terms of like Ficus elastica. But let me know if you guys would totally grab like 1 or 2 or more Ficus lyrata in a 6-inch pot if they were 99 cents like this Sprouts is advertising right here. But let me know if you think I should get this Philodendron hederaceum for $4.99. I mean, this is a hanging basket plus a really nice looking planter that could work with my space and my house's aesthetic. Just let me know if you think that that would be one to pick. I've already decided that I'm getting the Cebu Blue and the Enjoy pothos. I think those would be really nice additions, and they're easy care, and I could possibly propagate from them once they start vining. But I would just want to go ahead and pull this out. As you notice, there's not a lot of plants here, but it's one of those plant situations where I'm like, okay, nice, you know, sale. I didn't intend to buy anything, and this is what gets me in trouble doing these like big box or plant shopping tours, because I end up getting plants. But I ended up getting this 99-cent Ficus lyrata, those 2 hanging baskets that were $4.99. I feel like I got a good deal. I'll definitely go back to this Sprouts as spring approaches. So the next place we're gonna go to is the Kroger marketplace. So it's a little bit larger than a typical Kroger, and this one is off of Highway 380 and Hardin. So let me know what you guys think about this. So obviously this is a grocery store. Kroger's are pretty common in the DFW market and just in Texas as well, and they do carry quite a bit of plants, or I feel like they do. But as you can see, we're walking into a grocery store, so there's some produce right over here, but there's some really cool balloons. Look at those Monstera deliciosa balloons. That's really nice. And then obviously we have a bunch of flowers, bouquets for about $9.99. The floral and just like the plant section are always combined at grocery stores, so I find that very interesting. But as you can see, there are some Kalia lilies. We have some more lilies right here, some mini roses, and we have a nice bromeliad right there. I always find bromeliads interesting just because they look like somebody spray painted some stuff. This is another bromeliad, but this isn't as like flamboyant with the pinks and whatnot. And this one is for $14.99 in a 6-inch planter. That's pretty cool. And then we have another bromeliad right over here that's not as flashy. You can always tell grocery plants just because they have that like foil wrapper around. And I just wanted to pan over there. Look at how beautiful that pink is. Super vibrant, And we have some more plants right over here, just different house plants, but they really just market these as like the floral department when it comes to like grocery stores. But you know what? You never know. You might find an uncommon or even rare plant at grocery stores. Right now, I'm gonna go pan in over here. These are in water tulips. So these are all $10.99, these bulbs in water. And I am definitely interested in going to the tulip farm every year. They have it, and it's really close to where I say it's way up north in North Dallas. But did you see those roots? Super healthy looking roots for tulips. And then we see that they have gotten some type of shipment here, and I'm just going to be nosy and look. So it looks like they have some Ficus lyrata. We have some cyclamen and some Alocasia poly. The same thing right over here. I always find plants just interesting when they have these boxes ready to go. I mean, I love fresh plant restocks, and that's the reason why I do a lot of daily content twice a day, just because there are so many grocery stores, big box stores, and I would like to really share that. I mean, I appreciate every plant foldy or viewer subscriber that tunes into my channel just to listen to me ramble about plants or show you plants that you would see in a grocery store or a big box store for about 30 minutes plus. I love interacting with you guys, so if you do find yourself watching the premieres, usually at 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. daily, please consider going on to the live chat premieres and interacting with me. I love chatting with you guys and just getting to know folks. And then I do have an Instagram. It's at Growfolds. So that's another way to get in contact with me. But as you can see, I did pan out to a bunch of orchids. These orchids right over here are $17.99. I would say grocery stores usually have Phalaenopsis orchids. I rarely see like Vanda orchids unless you go to like Lowe's. Lowe's has the best orchids, but now this is the area where I feel like are more like Aroids and quote house plants. So right over here, we are looking at a Living Trends plant right here, and this one is a beautiful Alocasia. This is an Alocasia Pink Princess. Very nice looking Alocasia. It's fairly large, about as big as my hand. And we have another leaf unfurling. So whenever you're looking at plants at grocery stores, big box stores, if you see plants that have new growth points or have new leaves that are about to unfurl, that means that that plant is fairly healthy, and you most likely should pick it up if you're interested. Here is another Philodendron hederaceum, Brazil. Nice looking plant. I think for the price it's being asked for, I think it's like $24.98. It's a little pricey because I feel like I can get a better big box store price. So here is a Spathiphyllum or peace lily, and then we have some Pachira aquatica or money tree plants. We have some peperomia right over here. These are $19.99, and these are in 4-inch planters. Really cool, just because look at the plant stand. And this peperomia or tussifolia, just a regular version, this one is blooming. As you can see, there's also new growth points. This is the bloom right there, so it looks like rat tails, kind of like weird. The next one over there doesn't have any blooms, so I would say if you had to pick between which plant I would definitely take the one with the blooms and the new growth points or leaves that are about to unfurl, just because I feel like that plant would have been a little bit more established. So you can see that there are some house plants right over here at Kroger's. Now this is actually super cool for $19.99. For those who actually like ZZ plants, this is an actually more rare or uncommon ZZ. This is called the ZZ Zen plant. The ZZ Zen plant, as you can tell, is more compact, more dwarf-like. So like the nodes are a lot closer. This just looks really cool. It's nice and bushy. What I like about ZZ plants in general is they do tolerate really low light conditions and can still grow. In terms of pests, they don't really get a lot of pests except possibly mealybugs. And the watering, the less you water the ZZ plant, even the ZZ Zen, the better it is. It'll thrive more so just being a little bit more dry. The way you could kill a ZZ plant or like even the ZZ Zen is just by overwatering. They have a lot of storage in their stems to be able to hold water, so just water sparingly. But this is really cool. Like I would totally get this. But I feel like even for $19.99, that it is a little bit much for a small plant that I'm not as in love with. I would find something else to spend my money for $19.99. I think I could get like a 6-inch pot of like an aglaonema or something like that. Here is an interesting peperomia. So these are all really tiny. These are by the grocery store, I think Living Trends, and this one is $12.99. So all of these little petite plants are $12.99. Here's another peperomia right over here. Nice looking plant. I definitely don't want to add peperomia because the last time I've had peperomias, they ended up getting spider mites. So I always mention like pest plants. Big pest on plants is just because when I used to have like over 100 plus plants, I think the biggest demise for my collection and where I got discouraged is when I used to get like full blown pest infestations, whether it's mealybugs, thrifts, or gnats. So like I am a little bit more careful in my plant care this time around. So this is really interesting. I just bought a Ficus laurata for 99 cents, and this little tiny one in a nice planter though is for $14.99. I feel like these Living Trend plants right here, I don't think there's as much value in buying a small plant unless you have a small space. But just know, just because you buy this like tiny Ficus laurata, if you give it the right care conditions, it will eventually grow to a big plant. So like you have to consider how many times are you going to uppot the plant and like the full potential or height and width of the plant for your space. So we have some palms right here for $14.99, and this is actually a really interesting discovery. This is an aglaonema, and as everybody knows in the channel, if you've tuned in, my favorite plant at the moment are aglaonemas alongside syngoniums. So this is quite interesting. It's got a very bright red pot. I think it's a little too much in terms of the color. I think it would have been better just to use like matte, but I'm going to put this down. This is what infuriates me is why put this semi-rare aglaonema. I believe this is the aglaonema aglaonema Red King. And actually the price for this aglaonema is quite expensive. It's still $24.99 at this Kroger. But what I was going to get to is, do you see that the glitter on the leaves? Like, why would we put glitter on an aglaonema or any plant? I think it's really tacky. Like, what was the purpose of that? Like, I think we should have just relied on the beauty of the colors. Like, obviously this one isn't as red, but I guess if I really wanted to get these aglaonema, I would purchase it just because, look at this. It is super red. It looks fairly healthy, but I think for $24.99, I can find a bigger size aglaonema. It is quite interesting. This is probably my most interesting plant find at a grocery store right now is a aglaonema Red King. That's quite interesting right there. So I'm actually slightly tempted to get one, but I already know like I don't need to be spending $24 on a 4-inch plant. So we'll see. But as you can see, we do have our typical Epipremnum aureum golden or jade pothos. That's a jade pothos. It doesn't have nearly as much variegation. And then we have some hanging baskets right here. So this is really cool by Urban Jungle. I like the fact that it is in a nice little planter, and you can see right here that the leaves are actually shiny. This looks really healthy. That's the thing about grocery stores and big box stores. Always look at the health of the plant that you're interested in, but more so the plants around it, just because if all the plants are like infested with bugs and stuff, your plant that you're interested in will probably most likely have eggs or some type of bug. But yeah, so just take a look at that. And then this one right here, like for instance, I would totally pick up the Epipremnum aureum neon. That's a nice full size plant, and the leaves have no damage and they just look really nice. But as you can see, I'm gonna go pan over some more right over here. So this Kroger's has some decent plants. I think the ones I would totally pick would be the Aglaonema Red King for $24.99 and the ZZ Zen for $19.99. But you can see all of these foliage plants, these larger plants are all for $19.99. So we have Majesty Palm, Spathiphyllum, Ficus laurata, a yucca plant, and some type of calathea. I just don't know, where do we get all of these Majesty Palm? Like, who grows these? And even a viewer had asked, do we sell, do these stores sell through Majesty Palms? Honestly, I don't think so, but I will tell you this, the Ficus lyrata over that I just touched looks really nice. And this is some type of Calathea, I would assume. Please correct me in the comments or chat if I'm wrong, but these are really nice plants for $19.99. They're fairly established. Like, I mean, for the price that you're paying for, you're already getting a big plant. It's like instant gratification. And I did see a couple of these plants on the floor right here. I didn't realize that these were their clearance plants. Like, I would totally buy this for $4.20 had I not added so many plants in my collection. I like these Pilea plants right here, or aluminum plant right here. That's a really nice one. What I would do is I would totally cut some of this back so it would get a little bit more bushy, and the ones I cut, easily put it in water to propagate. These are so easy to propagate. I'm actually still debating on whether I should come back for that. And then we have a Dracaena marginata right over here for $4.20. So all of these plants are reduced, and it even looks like these hanging baskets that are being sold by Urban Jungles. This is some type of hanging basket. Look at this for $4.68. That's not bad at all, but I don't want to start like growing ferns just because I'm not 100% sure that I'll be able to keep them alive. So we'll see. Excuse me. But yeah, this aluminum plant looks really cool. I don't know if I should pick it up. Now we're going to be going to Trader Joe's off of El Dorado in McKinney, Texas. Trader Joe's has a lot of like organic foods, but they are also known for their house plants and just their orchids as well. So we're going to take a look at what we can find this afternoon at Trader Joe's. So as you guys can see, we are about to walk in. It's quite busy, so I'm going to try to be respectful with all of the shoppers right here, not to try to get them in the actual video. But as you can see from right off the bat, we have some of these Kalanchoe for $5.99. These are in 6-inch potted planters. Very cute looking blooming plants. I'm not sure if you can actually grow these indoors, so please let me know in the comments if you are able to grow these indoors, or are these more of like an outdoor plant. I know that there are a lot of plants that are marketed for indoors, like Hydra Helix, which clearly we know are not really indoor plants, but these are absolutely beautiful. I love the different flower colors they have. They have yellows, they have lavender, they have white, and then we also have some mini rose in a colorful tin for $5.99 according to Trader Joe's. And this is really cool. I love miniature roses. I actually bought a tin of miniature roses a couple years back. They were variegated at Trader Joe's. $5.99 is not a bad deal for miniature roses. Now, let me know in the comments if anybody's been able to grow miniature roses successfully indoors for a long period of time. And then we have mini succulents in a ceramic pot for $2.99. These are absolutely cute. You can see that there are different varieties. Unfortunately, I can't give you the plant IDs for these succulents, but nonetheless, they're very cute. And one thing I like about succulents is if you give them the right lighting conditions, the watering is very minimal. You can really grow a collection just because they are also easy to propagate. I may end up putting some succulents and cacti in my collection, like for instance, this snow-capped cactus for $7.99. This is really cool. Look at how beautiful this cactus is. So the one thing I will say is that snow cap, or the white part of the cactus, is actually a grafted on part. That's not from the cactus. So if you ever see some colorful cactus, usually the top part is grafted. So just FYI on that. I learned that recently, but you can see there are different types of cactus, snow cap cactus. This one is really cool. It reminds me of like a seashell, even a mushroom actually from that angle. So that's really cool. And then what else do we have here? We have another one that is way more fuzzy than the other snow-capped cactus. So really cool looking succulent cactus for $7.99. And I do like the colors of the planters. We've got some teals and some blues. Very nice indeed. Now we're gonna go look at Trader Joe's orchids. So Trader Joe's has a variety of orchids like this over here, $17.99, and you can see this is a different kind of orchid. It's not the Phalaenopsis. I'm not a orchid expert, so I can't really give you guys the specific types of orchids, but look at how beautiful that is. That is a different type of orchid that you typically don't see in big box stores, maybe Lowe's, but for the most part, Trader Joe's has so many different orchids. Now, obviously the one on the right, that's a Phalaenopsis, but I keep going back to these orchids just because look at how beautiful they are. Look at the shape and colors for $17.99. So if you are wanting to add different types of orchid species into your collections, if you have a Trader Joe's locally, definitely check them out, because like look at this right here. That is a beautiful orchid. Haven't really seen a bright crimson red one. And look at the yellow on that one as well. Now, these are the Phalaenopsis orchids. So these are the typical ones, and these are $14.99. Not a bad price at all. And then we have the smaller versions right over here. And then we have some more right over here for $12.99, $19.99. So they have different sizes and varieties of orchids, but I actually like the more exotic looking ones right over here. So if anybody knows what type of orchids these are, please leave that in the comments. I definitely want to learn more about orchids, and I'll just pan out right over here and show you what they have so far. They actually have more plants than usual, but you know what? I came in the afternoon, and typically with Trader Joe's, they get trucks every day with live plants, and they do sell very quickly. So just a note, if you don't see as many plants in this haul, it doesn't mean they don't carry a lot. But what I also like about Trader Joe's is the fact that they are very seasonally relevant. So they are already bringing out the tulips, the bulbs for sale. These are for $5.99. They have some hyacinths right over here. Bulb garden. This is like an 6.5, 8-inch potted up shallow pot of bulbs and tulips, and I find this really cool. Hyacinth in a glass for $3.49. Look at this. This is really cool. And you know, we've been seeing some like Leaf Joy, H2O by Proven Winners, where we have these tropical plants in water. But look at this. Look at the roots over there. Very fresh, bright white roots from a hyacinth. Now, if anybody plays Animal Crossing like I do, or I did in the past, you'll think about hyacinth as one of those flowers. I really think it's really cool just because they have the pink hyacinth and the blue hyacinth, which I actually grew on my Animal Crossing island. I actually had a whole island full of dog villagers, but don't let me start rambling about Animal Crossing, because I'm completely a Animal Crossing nerd as well. I love Animal Crossing. But anyways, hyacinth, really interesting to see that we have hyacinth available. Like, look at the roots of these plants right there. I would actually be curious to see what a real hyacinth looks like in person. I've never seen one, and so you know, you can go to Trader Joe's and find a hyacinth for $3.49. And then I'm going to pan over here for all of the fresh bouquets they have. They have different types of bouquets. These are all fresh. Like, we have some for $4.99 right over here. Look at how beautiful that is. And then we have some other ones for $4.99. So they have a variety of bouquets, so you don't have to go to like a florist to get some nice bouquets of flowers. Now we're going to be looking at some of their plants that they have. They have some herbs right here for $2.49, and then we have some Jumbo Premium Calathea for $12.99. These are in 6-inch potted up plants. Very nice. I would say these are a better value than some of the big box that we see. Like, for instance, this is a particular Stromanthe that we see by Proven Winners. Now, a smaller version of this by Proven Winners would be like $19 and, you know, $19 plus dollars, but this one is $12.99, and there are several Stromanthe in one potted up plant. So I think that's really cool. We have another Calathea right over here. This is a Calathea medallion. Really cool, just because if you were to buy like Acosta Farms Trending Tropicals one, or even those self-watering planters they have at Lowe's, those would be at least $15 plus. This is $12.99, so that's not a bad deal at all. And typically they have way more Calathea and other plants, but you know, I am coming in the afternoon. I've been, you know, going around town filming different types of grocery stores and big box stores to provide you guys some content. So I really love the fact that all you plant foldies keep tuning into my channel. Really appreciate the viewership. The one thing I will say is Trader Joe's has the best Ficus elastica prices and quality. Look at this Ficus elastica ruby right next to that afternoon sun. It is electrifying red, Absolutely stunning. And guess what? It's only $12.99. And then we have this big Monstera Deliciosa on the floor for $19.99. That's awesome. And then we have some more Ficus elastica. This one is the burgundy. Look at that beautiful red with the new growth right here. Really nice, healthy looking plants. I had a Ficus elastica Taniki, but I kind of neglected it, and I am in the hunt for the one. Like, speaking of Ficus elastica Taniki, look at this beautiful one. There are about 2 plants in this one. It does kind of look like a ruby though. But look at that variegation, absolutely stunning. And the afternoon sunlight just really, accentuates the variegation. Let me know if you guys grow Taniki or just Ficus elastica. What do you think about them? I absolutely love them because they are easy care plants. All you have to do is give them really bright indirect light. Actually, I've been successfully able to grow large ones in full sun in Texas, North Texas summers where it's 100 degrees and they don't burn. So I'm really shocked I was able to get away with that. But I did, and they grew up to be really big ficus trees. So I have 2 of them in my garage right now, the Ficus elastica Audrey and Ficus elastica Burgundy. They are about 4 to 5 feet tall, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to defoliate them in the spring to promote better growth and bushiness, maybe propagate them as well. But absolutely beautiful Ficus elastica plants at Trader Joe's, and these are for $12.99. I will definitely make more rounds around Trader Joe's. There's about 3 of them that are accessible in my area. This happens to be the closest one because I am further up north in Dallas. But nonetheless, I hope you guys are enjoying so far the grocery plants we see. If you notice the trend, I think for the most part, grocery plants are a little bit more cost effective than even big box plants. Like, for instance, this ceramic planter right here with this oyster plant, love the pink variegation, pink and purple, is only $7.99. So with the planter, so if you go to like Lowe's and you try to buy like Urban Jungle, those are like $13.98 plus. But look at this. This is a Dracaena marginata, a very juvenile form, for $7.99. Really nice looking plant. I love the pink and cream variegation. And then obviously we have Monstera Deliciosa right over here. Really large, tall ones. And then I know there was a viewer that says, they would be okay if I didn't show any crotons, but sorry, there are some people who actually are fans of crotons. I'm starting to like them, but I know that they're more of an outdoor plant. They require so much light, but I do like that yellow splashing of color. That is the gold dust croton. Now we're looking at some basil right over here for $3.99, organic basil. So they have a variety of herbs. Really like that as well. I've grown a couple of herbs in the past, but as you can see, we have just a small selection of plants, but nonetheless, they're good quality plants for an amazing price. So like I said before, Trader Joe's has a lot of cool things. I've seen Alocasia stingray one time there. They have different types of Monstera. They just have a lot of things. But my last stop I'm going to show you is the Kroger off of El Dorado in McKinney, Texas. This one is a little bit older Kroger, but Kroger's actually has some pretty cool plants as well. So we're going to go ahead and look at this location and see what type of plants that they have. We'll see what that looks like, okay? Right now, we're going to walk in here and we can see that there are lots of plants. We can walk in here. The floral section is pretty cool. And we have some Ficus elastica right over here in a tin. I don't really like the wrapper or the planter. I believe these are $7.99. I lucked out today by being able to get a bigger Ficus elastica, Ficus lyrata, sorry guys, for 99 cents at Sprouts. So nonetheless, I wasn't really planning on getting a Ficus lyrata, but if it's 99 cents, like, who wouldn't pass that off, This one is an awesome little Alocasia. Again here, I think this is an Alocasia poly for $7.99. We have some miniature roses right over here. I'm just really curious to see if anybody grows like flowering plants, like miniature roses, indoor azalea. I didn't know that we actually had a species of indoor azalea that typically grow indoors. And then we can see right over here, we have some hyacinths for $10.99. This is a 6-inch potted up plant of hyacinth. And then we have some Dracaena marginata. These ones are $6.99 in 4.5-inch, 5-inch pots, planters. Not a bad price if you're looking for just a easy to care plant. So I'm gonna say, instead of like common plants, I'm gonna say easy to care plants. So for the viewer that asked me not to call them common plants, I'm gonna just call them easy to care easy to care plants, because they are. We have some amaryllis, I think that's how you pronounce it. These are beautiful bulb plants. These are $17.99. I was gifted an amaryllis for Christmas, and all you have to do is take the bulb and put it against like a window and they just grow. You don't have to water them or anything, so that's really cool. And then I saw this at the other Kroger's location. This is really cool. For $12.99 by Living Trends or Live Trends, this is a small ficus lyrata. That's really cute. Although I feel like these plants, like this is a nice fern. Although I think these plants, as cute as they are, I just feel like you won't be able to grow them sustainably for a long time in those planters, just because plants do grow. They're not meant to be in miniature pots like that. We have another philodendron right here. Really cool looking philodendron. If anybody can give me the plant ID for this philodendron, I'd really appreciate it. These are $6.99. This one right over here is cool. This one is a philodendron black cardinal. I actually ended up getting one at Target for about $12.99, but if you see, this is $6.99 right here. Not a bad price at all. So like, I definitely, if I'm gonna buy like these types of philodendron, I'm definitely gonna go frequent Kroger. I didn't realize that they sold philodendron for those sizes for $6.99. That's not bad. And I typically want to be able to be the one that picks the planter I place these plants in, but that I'm just going to pan out here and show you guys what else they have. They have some more miniature living trends or live trends for $12.99 in these small, cute ceramic pots. That one is a Calathea vittata. Thank you guys for giving me that plant ID. We have a Dieffenbachia here for $6.99. Look at that really bright variegation. I really like that. Unfortunately, Dieffenbachia are very toxic, so please do not have them around your plants. They are not pet safe. We have a Philodendron Birkins right there for $6.99, and I find this is probably the best value. Look at how beautiful this peperomia is. This is for $6.99. It's got several peperomia in the planter, and I love the pink margins and lining. Yep, this is for $6.99. If I hadn't added so many plants in the last 2 weeks because of these daily plant blogs, I definitely would pick this up, but I do need to control myself on what plants I add for 2 reasons. Adding so many plants adds more plant care routines. You talk about plant chores. I will have to do that in another video. And then just having more plants means that you potentially can have more pests. So that's why I'm not trying to add as many. But look at that beautiful philodendron. If somebody can give me the plant ID for that, that would be awesome. And then we obviously have this easy care plant. That is a Dracaena Janet Craig. You see that in almost any store, grocery store, big box store, Walmart. It could be in department stores, Dracaena Janet Craig. And then we have a croton again here. This croton I didn't realize was very common. You see this often in so many stores. This is the Croton Gold Dust. I don't mind it just because it is kind of quirky. I like that somebody, splattered a bunch of yellow paint, and there you have a Croton Gold Dust. And then we have some more tulips right over here. And then right over here, we have some premium philodendron. So these are for $14.99, but I feel like at Trader Joe's, they kind of get the same supplier. The supplier actually grows these plants and ships them from California rather than Florida. These are $14.99. I'm not 100% sure what type of philodendron this is. So if anybody in the comments or the live chat, please leave a comment and let me know the plant ID. The same thing with this. Is this like a philodendron black cardinal? It's got a really interesting color. It's like a light maroon caramel color. It looks like a brown leather couch. I really like the texture. These are for $14.99. I do believe that if Trader Joe's carries these would be like $12.99. So if I'm gonna buy any of these plants, I would look at Trader Joe's first. This is probably the best plant find I found today at Kroger's, and these are the the ZZ Zen. So the ZZ Zen is a dwarf miniature form of the ZZ plant or the Raven ZZ. It'd be interesting to actually see a Raven ZZ in this form, but the ZZ Zen is really cool just because of the compact nature it has. What I like about it is this can literally be an office plant. It doesn't require nearly as much light for it to grow and survive. Obviously, the more light you give it, the more it's going to thrive. But these are for $19.99. Not a bad price at all. I think $14.99. And then we also have some Pachira aquatica money trees, and this is really quirky. I didn't realize that the planter had like coins here, so that's kind of interesting. I don't know how I feel about it. I typically like planters that are a little bit more simple in nature. And then we have another Ficus lyrata right over here. My size that I got is just a little bit smaller than this one, and I got it for 99 cents. So I'm not gonna really like jump for joy for these. Although these are beautiful looking Ficus lyrata. Look at the natural shine they have. So we'll see if I'll be able to grow a Ficus lyrata in my home. I just have to make sure to rehab it. I'm going to cut the top off to make sure I can promote some new growth. And then we have some more philodendron, but this is an actual interesting philodendron right here. Do you see these like half moon mutated philodendron? Is this philodendron reverting back to green, or what is going on with this philodendron right here? If anybody in the comments will let me know, should I pick this up? Because I actually thought this was a unique philodendron. I mean, Birkins, we often see so many philodendron Birkins, like pretty much every place I've gone to today has a philodendron Birkin, but I haven't seen this type of like variegation. So I am debating on whether I should pick this up for $14.99 and grow it. It looks like somebody might have gone through and like cut the burnt leaves, but we'll see. I might come back for that and hold off, but let me know in the comments. I definitely want to see your opinions of whether that's like a reverting philodendron Birkins or a mutated one. And obviously we have a bunch of orchids here for $14.99. That's not a bad price at all for some Phalaenopsis orchids. These are probably the most common orchids you see at big box stores. I'm not nearly as of a fan, so like I'm more of like a Vanda orchid type person, just because I love the hanging and the aerial roots. But we are going to look at one last thing, and that is the larger foliage plants right over here. These are for $19.99. So we have some Ficus lyrata here. Really nice looking leaves. They're very shiny, and I don't think they even put leaf shine. And we have some type of, I would assume this is a calathea maybe, or some type of prayer plant. The leaves are a little bit fuzzy. We have some Majesty Palm. You see Majesty Palm everywhere. You see them in doctor's offices, big box stores. They're just everywhere, just not in my household. So I don't know if you guys grow Majesty Palms, but I definitely am curious to see what type of plants you guys do grow, so please leave them in the comments. And that's basically it for my grocery haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.